an announcement before we get started. I'd like to remind you guys I'm on Patreon. And on Patreon, we are going to, first of all, have my art. I will be sharing my current works that I'm working on, how I do it, etc. And we will also have more, I want to say personal messages from the spirit realm, particularly my son John, but it could be anybody, more based in spirituality, whereas on YouTube, our messages, whether it's just from me, Gypsy, or the spirit realm, has more to do with the state of the world today, what's going on in our society, homesteading, being self-sustainable, self-sufficient. That's YouTube. Whereas on Patreon, we will have more spiritual messages based in spirituality. That topic alone, ascension, etc. Your own personal, whatever, excuse me. The art, I said. We will also be having contests for my subscribers, for my patrons. We will have a monthly contest for your own personal, private reading, a spirit reading, where I will be the intermediary for you and your own personal loved one, family member, friend, whoever's over there you want to talk to. I can't promise who comes in, but it will be somebody especially for you. You can win one of those for free. We will do it on Zoom. And then we will be having an every other month contest where I do a drawing and somebody wins an item from my shop, Gypsy Witch Creations. So we have a whole bunch of other, and there'll be more things coming. So that's what's going to be on Patreon. Check me out there. And should any of my YouTube videos be censored, check me out on Odyssey. All the links are below in the comments. Hey everybody, it's Gypsy. And today, me and my son John, who is in the spirit realm for the past almost 7.5 years, I got it down right. We are going to talk about what is abundance. You said you wanted to start first? Baby mama who's just fooling around, right? So anyways, this is Michelle. To me, abundance is relative. It's a matter of perspective. It's what's important to you. Now, most people, especially in the past, abundance means a lot of money, big fancy cars, big fancy houses, owning a lot of material things. I think that might be changing for a lot of people. For me, it never really was that. For me, it's living the life I want on my own with the things I like. A simple life. The things I enjoy are not so fancy, and that's what I've always wanted. So for me, that would be abundance. Now for you guys, abundance would be something else, probably, possibly. So anyways, John, do you want from the perspective of the spirit realm, what is the view of abundance up there? What did our Creator have in mind for abundance? Yeah, I think I got that right. Okay, Mother. So abundance, as you just heard me say, yeah, it gets confusing. I can hear him say it before it actually comes out of my mouth. Right? Is more or less having whatever you need to survive. So in other words, when the Creator created this planet, everything was put in place for all of His creatures, all of its creatures, to survive here. So right, I once told my mother, lack is an illusion. Right. And it still is today. Nevertheless, lack has been, I'm going to say, created by people to give the illusion of lack. Okay. So we have created as a mass consensus, and yes, this is still John talking, not my mother, Michelle. We have created lack. We have set up certain situations on this planet, taking away from what our Creator created originally. We, yes, subtracted from that. We took away from that so that there would be lack on this planet, so that you would have how people living in squalor. Yes, Mom's starving, not enough food, not enough clothes, etc. It was never really meant to be that way, and we have done past videos on that, and that is real. That's true. Yes, look at it the way Ralph Smart always says, and you love this saying. Why are we the only species on this planet who has to pay to live when no one else does? And that's another thing. Those same animals. Oops. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, go ahead, Mom. I forgot to silence the phone. Hold that thought, honey. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Right. All the other species on this planet who live freely are actually the same spirits who in the past have created a lot of this mess, right, because they incarnated as human beings on this planet. We are not spiritually any different than the animals or the birds you hear tweeting out there. Same type of spirits become animals. Miss Persephone, wherever she went, right, is the same type of spirit as my mother. There is no hierarchy of who, whoops, their spirit got too close to the camera again. My mom loves to do that. Yes. Right. They're from the same soul family. For instance, Snuggles is back to his truest form, yes, as of this past May 1st. Excuse me. It's still hard. I know, Mom. My mother's little white dog you used to see sitting back here, now you see a black cat. Those two, Persephone and Snuggles, are part of our soul family. This time, yes, they both chose to come in as my mother, as she says, familiars. Her animals, her pets, part of my family, right. We do choose this from time to time for various reasons, right. Not really where we meant to go, but that bird out there, the wild animals, all of your pets are from the same soul family. They're the same type of spirits. It's not a hierarchy. Yes, they would be lesser. They're not. However, whenever we come in to this planet in human form, we have a tendency to disrespect our family members who are out there living. We have taken away from the animals and ourselves. Now, the animals still live freely for the most part. Yes, Miss Persephone might disagree because she can't run wild because the coyotes and wildcats, right? But for the most part, she does not need to worry about where her food is coming. My mother does that. Animals out there, they forage. They live off the land. Now, people like my mother want to return to that. It's their own personal choice. But we have created a situation where most people, not that they can't make that choice, they think they can't make that choice. Yes, you may get the same battering that Ralph did the other day, right? That's okay. Right. But we created this situation on this planet. Abundance, according to the spirit realm, simply means having everything you need without worry or concern. Yes, or having to work too hard for it. Not being enslaved to someone else. That is truly what abundance is upstairs in the spirit realm. When you die here and go back home to the spirit realm, you remember all this. Right now, this would have sounded silly. Excuse me. It's Michelle. His mother has to laugh. Okay. He crosses over and that party is different, right? Yes, I like to live in the lap of luxury when I was here. We're not going to talk about that, John Patrick. Some comments he made about his parents that was very disrespectful to me as a teenager. Right. We're not going to talk about it. It had to do with that subject. Both my parents chose a more simple life. Right. No riches or anything like that. I took great umbrance with that. He did. Yeah. So, but anyways, going upstairs, I see my parents, both of them, had it right. My dad has always had this attitude. I think you always did, but I was conforming, honey. Right. But you are more like a dad now. Want to live simply, off the land. Don't bother me. Yeah, I'm a loner, right? Etc. My dad does the same thing. That's abundance for my parents. So I couldn't understand where you came from when you said things like, what the hell? Let me introduce you to your mother and your father, right? Hi everyone, this is Gypsy from Gypsy Witch Creations, and I'd like to introduce to you my new collection called Live Free. It is promoting our freedoms and our rights, especially our freedom of choice. I have shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, various cups, water bottles, magnets, all sorts of things with 2 different designs. So please go ahead to Gypsy Witch Creations, and you will see at the top of the menu, Live Free. Click on that, and you'll see all the items promoting your freedoms. Right. Anyways, that's abundance. True abundance is having everything you need. And I'm saying need, not a desire, a want for the extras, and not having to, yes, work your ass off for it, like my mother and my grandfather like to say. Right. And that's all abundance is. But again, here it's a matter of perspective. For my mother, I live in abundance, right? You have a 17-foot trailer, 19 feet if you include the tongue, right? And, well, I don't live off the land yet. I'm trying to get to that point. Right, Mom. But you're working in that direction, and you just kind of roam around. In the summer I do, right. And you live, out in the wilderness, like you like to say, right. To me, that's abundance. That's the way to live for me. So even though I don't have money, I feel abundant. Right, Mom, that's a good way to put it. Exactly, because you're living the style you want. Now, what my mom wants is to totally break free. Not have anything to do with the craziness in society. I could never stand the drama in this place. Right. And you are basically at that point, but right, you still have to participate in society. Oh, I'm having another past memory before he left. Excuse me. Let me contain myself first. This is another mom was right moment. Okay, go ahead. Right. So you are living the life you want, and you are always looking for ways, yes, to spend less and less money. Right. Not do things cheaply, naturally. You don't say self-sustainable, self-sufficient is what I say, John. Right. Self-sufficient, taking care of yourself. Right. And my mom has returned to sharing, yes, this information in videos on YouTube. More is coming, people, right? Because you want to share it for those who are interested, right? I love my life, but that doesn't mean it's for everybody. But for those who are interested, I'm putting it out there. Right, and that's the best way to look at it. Now, to another, especially the higher-ups, I'm going to say, they believe abundance is material items, money especially. Right. Do that. Right. If, this is Michelle, if things do come crashing down, and there's always the chance it will. And if you want to call me a conspiracy theorist, go ahead, because I will tell you that term came from the CIA, a department of the government. That should make anybody suspicious. Right. So anyways, if they do come toppling down from the top of their pyramid and join us, I'm going to be like, welcome to my world. Won't you come on? It's not that bad here. When you have nothing to lose, you are free. Believe me, this grieving mother knows. Right. So anyways, Mom, that's true. We always laugh when you do that. She kind of dances around the house. Yes, well, every time I hear something on the news, yeah, welcome to my world. I never saw you do this when I was here. Well, I was stuck in the matrix. I was busy trying to conform. I felt it was the only way to survive here. And in being a mother, you felt you were doing the right thing. Right. It was miserable for me. For all three of us. I'm talking about me and both my boys. Because Mom wasn't being her true self. Christian went into shock when Mom decided to be. He's gotten over it. He's fine now. But at the beginning, he was like, what? Right. My wild child couldn't handle it. Yeah, Christian's my wild child. Yeah. And anyways, that's what abundance is. Now, I know many people are into the manifestation thing, manifesting abundance, and it's always money, money, money. What's that? Dinero. I see. Right. We say moolah in Sicilian. Yeah. But for most people, including myself when I was here, it was abundance was the green stuff. It's not going to be green much longer, though. It's all digital, right? And that's what most people think of, and that's what they focus on manifesting. Now, my mother focused on the life she dreamed of, wanted, right? And it was becoming a nomad. How do you say it? Living out in nature, being in the wilderness, right? Right now, she looks out, sand, rocks, deserts, desert plants. Yes. That's your version of abundance. But for most, it's manifesting the money to survive in this world. It's unfortunate, right? And you did need some money to get this life started. And that's true. And that's sad, too. I want to see that go to the wayside. That people can manifest abundance without the money. If it does happen, I know it's not going to be in my lifetime, honey. Right, Mom. Right. I'm going to be 57 next month. Oh, wait. It's, yeah. A month from October 3rd. Right. And you're probably right. It's going to, right, because it's going to take a long time to reinstitute. And yes, I said reinstitute. He did, people. My son said reinstitute. Right. We always talked about that. How it used to be. How did you put that the other day? Before the powers that be came to be. Right. And there are more and more people who want to go back to what we call the old days. Before societies were actually formed, now it's more like just one big society. Right. You believe in small communities, self-governing, right? Not huge countries. Right. Look what happened to the U.S. How'd you put that yesterday? That I feel a democracy will always end up being a tyranny at some point, usually after about 250 years. 200. Right. Hello! And that's true. So that's what abundance is upstairs in heaven, spirit realm, whatever you people call it. Here it's something different, and it is, what I'm going to say, personable. It's a matter of perspective. Right. And for you, the more simple, the better. Right. I feel the less I have, the more simple my life is, the happier I am, the more abundant I am. That's right. True joy is abundance also. Anybody else? You guys have anything to say? No, Mom, we think that's it. Okay. Well, let me ask you that question that I just thought. What is going on in this world today? We have been hearing about the shift coming for years. Things changing, going into a new era. Is that what's truly going on, and will it bring about that change of the perspective of abundance going to what the spirit realm sees, and people being able to live more simply and be happy? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Mom, I think I do. The first question was, is that true? What's going on? Right. It is, in a sense, and like we always say, it's what the mass consensus chooses to do with it. So, if the mass consensus stays the course it's on now, there will be major changes. Right now, it seems like the upper echelon has the upper hand. What they're literally doing is pushing the masses towards this great divide that has already occurred, but at the same time, pushing them to, right, desperation, Mom, that's a good way to put it. Enough is enough. Right. We want our freedoms back. We want to run our own lives. They are pushing people in that direction. If it continues that the majority of the people want to live as you do, which doesn't mean as a nomad, right? It means living the life they want freely, being self-sustaining, right? Getting our privacy back, right? It'll end up that way. However, if too many people give up, as usually happens when we have these times during human history, we stay the course. Right. We don't want to stay the course, people, do we? You want your freedom back, your life back? Don't. Yeah. Right. So, as we see it right now, yes, that is what's happening. Which, in essence, means those who want to go back to the simple life can. You can live off the land without having to pay taxes. I don't know for what you might pick. Yeah, the government always has a way of, you try to live off the land, they'll find a way to charge you for it. Yeah, which should not be, because my mother's going, well, did they create it? You go out in the wild. No, they didn't. Right. So, the answer to the question is, it can. If the mass consensus stays the course it's on now, everybody's in fighting mode, whatever side you're on. Now, those who seem like they want to stay the course, right, you're saying I don't think they really do. Right. I would have been more like those people and couldn't see a different way of life. It's a good question. My mom just said, how can you see a different way of life if you've never experienced it? And that's true. I would have been afraid of the changes. That's true too. Right. However, those people are the ones who are afraid of the change and fight it. Right. I think typically people are afraid of change. Right. But those who are so fed up, like you, Mom, and are angry and want your freedom back, want your freedom at all, live a private, quiet life. Right. My mom is a private, quiet person. She doesn't go out attacking people. Right. I like to mind my own business. Right. That's what people are going to get back. Because from what we see upstairs, the majority want their lives back in their own manner and freely, so Grandpa's saying. Okay. Yeah, so let's wrap it up there. Okay, people, so that's abundance. And how we might get our own versions of abundance back. So, I'll leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.